Well, welcome everybody. I am Gina Gaudio-Graves, the Dean and founder of Directions University at directionsuniversity.com. We have got a great content for you guys today. With me is my partner, the Associate Dean at Directions University, Jack Humphrey. And Jack, this was really your idea, so I'm going to let you set the stage for what we want to share with them today.
All right. Well, we started teasing you guys about this crazy idea of having what we call a lifestyle. A lot of people call a lifestyle business, and the idea that you can have it all and not have any compromise. And a lot of people out there right now, you guys, most of you own a business already, or looking into it, just getting started, or well into one, and I see a lot of busy people, lots of very overly worked people. It's not that we don't enjoy work or anything, but I think a lot of people are really kind of getting stressed out. This is not the internet lifestyle that they thought they were going to have. This is not what it said in the book. It said on all those web pages, if you do this, you're going to have this wonderful, brilliant life. And I think we get a lot of people at Directions University who feel like that. We get people who have been on the road, so to speak, and working really hard in their businesses and not really getting where they want to go, feeling like there's not enough time left over for life. And that's why we did all of this, right? That's what the internet promises. That's what the internet lifestyle promises. And people are not experiencing that. So even if you've been in business for a while, and several of our viewers have, I dare say you'd probably like to have it switched around a little bit so that your life was actually the most important thing. Your business supported that life, and you were also doing more things, spending time on your passions, making the world a better place in whatever way you would like to do that. So that's why we put the messages out that we did over the week leading up to this hangout, and that's what we want to tell you about today. That's what I'm really excited about, because it is a simple formula, really, in how we deal with it here at Directions University, and teach all of our students the same simple formula. And so I don't know if we want to get into that yet, Gina, or if
Jack, can you still hear me, Jack?
there you are. Hi.
As I was saying, I have my dog out here with me. You're probably going to hear him bark. I have 5 squirrels that come to sit with me and eat nuts with me all day, every day. And you can hear them up in the tree above me squealing right now. I've got a couple of blue jays and a couple of cardinals. They're with me all day. I love nature. I love living next to this wonderful little lake because it attracts it. So, you know, Jack and I had a major aha moment December 26th of 2014. For the first time since DU had opened on January 29th of 2007, we took a 10-day winter break between Christmas and New Year's. And we did that because we practice what we preach. We're telling our students they need time to just live life, and we wanted to make sure that we gave them that time in the form of a winter break. Jack and I, of course, were diehards. We decided we were going to use those 10 days not to go live life, but to actually spend our 10 days planning what we were going to do for 2015. So we started that off on the morning of the 26th of December. And we decided to start that out with a call with our dearest friends, Chief Robert and Terry Taltree, the Deans of DU Schools of Personal Success. And we did that so that they could help us set our intention and our energy for the work we were going to do for the next 10 days. And it was on that call that it happened, wasn't it, Jack?
Yep. Big breakthrough.
Giant breakthrough. It started, I think, with Jack. It's a little fuzzy, but I think it was actually Jack that brought about the first breakthrough. Jack said, He's been a little frustrated the last couple of years. He started out not in business, but in the world of doing good, working for nonprofits. And he realized pretty quickly that he couldn't do the kind of good and enough of the good that he wanted to do unless he had a bunch of money. So he left the world of nonprofit to come into the world of for-profit with one goal in mind: make a whole bunch of money at a specific figure in mind so that he could then go back to the world of doing good. And I went, wait a minute, Jack, don't you hear what we teach at Directions University? You can build a for-profit business that both makes money and does good in the world, and the two can fuel one another. And that's when Jack was like, oh, you mean you don't mean just serve prospects and customers, deliver value to prospects and customers? I didn't mean that, did I, Jack?
No, no, I don't think a lot of people heard it until you realized that they didn't hear it, and you really brought it home for everybody, including me right there. But then this whole year so far, we've been doing that. It's like, look, you guys, we don't mean service, and Gina didn't mean that. Yeah, it's a really big deal.
It was. The next aha was mine. I said, okay, now that we know that, we've got to get this idea of serving and doing good in the world out to more people. Next, let's go sit down and plan how we're going to do that next year. Let's plan business for 2015. And then it hit me. Every year that I've been in business, I have done that exact thing. I've planned exactly how much money I want to make, exactly what we're going to do to make that amount of money, and therefore it automatically dictates what we're going to do to spend our time. Well, that seemed like it was backwards to me. When it hit me, I was like, uh-oh, Jack, wait a minute, we're doing it backwards. What if this year we did things just a little different? And instead of planning business first, what if we first figured out our vision for life? What do we want life to look like in our dream of dreams? Let that dictate how we spend our time. Then figure out what our vision is for the good we want to do in the world. If we can clearly see the vision for both doing life and serving, how could we then approach business differently? Maybe we could design business to support both life and serving. What do you think? What'd you think, Jack?
It was pretty cool because honestly, I was kind of bummed out. It's been a long time. I went past my goal of having so many millions in the bank and just being able to destroy my computer and throw it out the window. I had this really big plan, and then just go back out into the woods and start tracking again and start helping organizations that help wildlife and wilderness and wildlands. So I was like, man, what am I going to do? It's like I still need to work. I got bigger goals than I did before. So now that number that I had to in 1998 has increased quite a bit. So I didn't know what to do, and that was the solution to it. So I got really excited about it, and I'm presently now doing that. I'm doing all of it. So it's awesome to feel that way. And it was only that you gave people permission to do it, right? It was like that you didn't do anything miraculous other than, hey guys, did you know you could live this way? That you could have a life first, a business that fulfills everything that you need for that life, and be doing the passion and the serving and the things that you want to do all in one. They don't go like, well, a lot of people plan it out. They're like, well, I'm going to just, like I did, I'm going to do this business thing, whether I like it or not. I'm going to work my butt off whether I like it or not, and I'm going to get to a certain goal. Then I will have this certain kind of life, and then I will be able to help people and help do the things that I want to do, my passion projects. And I thought about that through the whole 2000s, and everybody who knows me saw me working my butt off from 2002 when power linking came out all the way to 2012, 2010, 2012, and that's all I was doing. There was no life, there was no service. It was just business, and I got burnt out. And when Gina found me, I was just kind of floating around the internet. Just, I'd sold my companies and sold my software and was kind of like looking for the next thing. And I knew the only thing that I knew was I did not want to go back to what I was doing before. I will never go back to what I was doing before, which was just constantly working. I was in a launch or perish business. I had to do launches. I had to always come up. I had to always perform, and and it was lucrative, but it left me a hollow shell. I came from service to do this, and the business. When you let business take over everything, if you let business have all of every nook and cranny of your life, it will take up all of that. It's like that foam that you squirt into holes to plug them up. It'll fill every single bit. And that's what I did. I started with business first, not life first. I started with business first, and business will take up everything. And that's where I was, and then that's where I wasn't. You can also sell it all, and I did. So, and then I was floating around looking for the next thing to do. So that's when Gina found me. And then for a year or so, we talked about service, and I was always thinking serving customers, making sure that everybody's, thinking that you're really, really incredible because of your great products, your great service. And it really never occurred to me that she was also including service as nonprofit stuff that I used to do. And starting a foundation, which I'm going to do this year, that's going to help all of the groups that I really like to support. My business is going to support my life the way I want my life to be, and it's going to support financially the ability to start this foundation and grow it and grow the good that I can do in the world personally.
And in approaching it with the vision for life, then the vision for doing good, and then the business that supports the first two, we can't just sit there and hope. So we can't just say, okay, this is my plan for life. Now business, come make me the money so I can do it. It doesn't work that way. You still need all the same things that you need in business. You need stuff to sell. You need people to sell it to. You need content to attract those people to you. All those same things that you needed before. What changes is what you do to get those things, right, Jack?
Yep. And it's leverage. So one of the things that people are, well, I got to start a business. I'm going to throw my whole self into this because we feel like a business is not going to make the kind of money that we have on our little goals sheet unless it's complicated and unless we work really hard at it and we basically set ourselves up. And this is a universal truth, and this is something that mostly likely you guys are doing right now, at least some of it. You're doing a one-for-one action. So for every customer you get, you're out there sweating in some way to get that customer. And this is including, like, if you're doing Facebook ads or if you're doing content marketing, or if you wrote a blog post today and you get a customer off of it, that's a one-to-one action. There's no leverage in it whatsoever. So we feel like we're doing a good job, right? I wrote a blog post and I got a new customer today. Yay! Whoop-hoo! But that's when your whole life is your business. That's only cool when it's your whole life is your business, and then now we've determined that your whole life being your business is not cool. So in order to do this thing and really map out where you want to be in the next year, the next 3 years, what your life is, what your ideal day from waking up to going to bed, your perfect life, you have to do that and then put the business wherever else there is time. So I want to wake up, I want to do this, I want to work a little bit in the morning, and then I want to go for a jog in the afternoon, or I want to play with my kids, or and then I might work a little bit more in the early evening, finishing up some stuff, and then the rest of the night I want to go to a nice restaurant. I want to, whatever your perfect day might be, your business has to fit into that, and then it's contained. Then you've made a container for your business. It can go thus far and no further. And then, so what do? You've got a business, that you've got this life. I want to travel, I want to have cars and houses, and I want to live in certain places, but I've only given myself this much for business. Well, what takes up the rest of that normal space is leverage. Hardcore leverage, and a very, very systematic, strategic plan that can actually fit in here and leverage this amount of time that you can spend on your business to do the same thing that people that use this much time all their lives, those 20s and 30-year-olds that are constantly able to work. They don't have families yet. They don't have, and you look around the web and you see them doing all this miraculous work. They're on social all the time. They're doing all this amazing stuff, and you compare yourself and what you've been able to output in the same day, and you're like, what the heck? I can't do that. And then the truth is you can't. And they're not using any kind of secret other than pure hard work. They're not using leverage at all. So every single thing that you see those people out there, those dynamos, those crazy people that are constantly on social, and they're always doing updates, and they're launching all the time, they're doing all this stuff, most of those people, the huge majority of them, are not using any leverage at all. They're just working their butts off. They're just, and they're going to burn out. Nobody can sustain that for very long. You can pick somebody, watch them for a while, and by the end of 2015, you won't see the level of output that they're putting out today. You just won't. If the statistics are telling us the truth, they're going to be one of the statistics. 95, 99% of the time, they're just going to burn out, and they're going to go do something else. So they'll have a podcast. Watch at the end of this year, their podcast won't have been updated for 2 or 3 months. They're going to have a blog that's going crazy, and then watch them at the end of 2015, they're hardly putting up any blog posts anymore. Unless they discover what we know at Directions U, what Gina has been teaching for all these years at Directions University about the Vortex model of doing business and the traffic vortex, most of the people that you see right now that make you feel so bad about your level of output, they're going to be burnt out and done by the end of this year. Watch, mark my words, pick somebody today and say, I'm going to watch and see how long that person can go. And either they're in the DU system and they're learning how to use leverage, and they'll still be around at the end of the year, or, and I mark my words, come back at the end of the year and tell me that somebody's still going. And you got to find a dynamo. You got to find one of those crazy people that's always doing everything. They're on every social network. They're doing everything, right? And they look like really energetic right now because they got a bunch of Red Bull off camera. They got cases of Red Bull, and they're doing all kinds of. And then at the end of the year, they're either in DU, they figured out that they need to use leverage in their business and have life first business and service, or they're going to be done. And you'll start to see their output just peter off, and they'll go into either oblivion or say, hey guys, I've decided to change my business model. And they'll make up an excuse for it, but what's behind it is, I'm just tired. And they can't tell anybody that. They've got to keep their energy up. And usually what they'll do is they'll either stop their business or they will find a way to use leverage, but not generic forms of leverage. Right? It's like everybody knows about leverage. Okay, you're probably talking about joint ventures. You're probably talking about, we're not talking about individual ways to leverage. We're talking about an entire system of leverage that put together in the right way, and what we call it is the Vortex model of doing business, and for traffic, the traffic vortex. If you put it together in the right way, strategically, so in the whole Vortex model, what we do is we draw out a circle with concentric rings, and you don't need to know anything about that except that it's a model that uses points of leverage all over the place. So it's like compound leverage. At the end of the day, the way that you fit a giant business with your big goals for money and everything else into this little space is you've got to use leverage, but not just leverage, you got to use compound leverage. And that's what the Vortex model is all about. Sorry, Gina, I got a little excited.
That's quite all right, Jack. Well, we do teach this model for getting massive leverage into everything you do. And we teach it in one of our primary programs called Motivation to Profit. It's a program that, honestly, I've done a lot of programs over the last several years. It is the one that I am most proud of. And I think Jack feels about the same way about it, don't you, Jack?
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, you guys know that I've been out on the web, some of you know, for quite a long time, and Gina, we've been doing this for a while, and so you and I, we both know what's out there, like in terms of training and the kind of training that you get, right? And there's all kinds of people doing all kinds of stuff, and a lot of those people learned a lot of that stuff from us, me and Gina. A lot of those people learned it from us, and it's not to take anything away from anybody except that we honestly do have the very best training on the whole planet for doing business online, and not just business online, but living a lifestyle business, having a lifestyle business. And so I've put together tons and tons of programs. I had Blog Success, I had Content Desk, I had all kinds of membership sites. I tried to crack that nut of the real perfect training system all those years, and I never did. I got closer and closer, and then I gave up. I'm like, this is, I'm always better than the guy that just gives you access to a zip file with a little text thing here and a membership bobble here, and there's really just no, we know what we're talking about here, right? Wink, wink. And that's what the majority of the web is. There's a lot of people out there producing the idea of value, and there's very, very few people out there who are producing actual, real, serious value. So yes, I'm very proud of this. I think that we underprice it. The tuition to get involved with Directions University is ridiculously low, absolutely stupidly low for what we give. And I keep having a talk with Gina about this. I'm like, we really need to raise our prices. And she's like, no, we need to help people, because she won't give up the idea that the more people that we can help, the more people that they will help, because we teach about service in the business. So if you go away from DU, you graduate from DU, and you go out and do this stuff, then you're going to reach thousands of people, which fulfills our mission at DU, because Gina wants. Go ahead, Gina.
We want to touch the life of every person on this planet, all 7.2 billion of them. It's not a mission we can achieve on our own. The only possible way that you can touch the life of every person on this planet is by working with people like you, entrepreneurs and small business owners. If we can help teach you how to more meaningfully impact the lives of your customers, together we really can touch the life of every person on this planet. So motivation to profit is one of the ways that we invite you to become the next entrepreneur that we help. Will you be the next entrepreneur that we help? It means being a part of something that's bigger than yourself right from the start, doesn't it, Jack? I'm going to switch over my screen to show them what motivation to profit is. And as I do that, I want you to talk a little bit about how we really understand that you're not interested in more education and training. You've probably had so much education and training already. What you really want is results. Motivation to profit is not just education and training. Jack, why is it not just education and training? What else could it be?
Well, one, it's a catalyst. So I don't want to make anybody feel bad about all the money that you've spent on training and all the money you've spent on education and products and services and things like that. Actually, I want to make you feel good about it, because you should. And the reason you should feel good about it is because Directions University is a catalyst. It's that one little missing ingredient that needs to be sprinkled on top of everything you already know. Maybe add a few things to the toolbox that you have that you need to know, and actually get results. So it's like pixie dust in a way. It actually focuses finally on getting a result. That everything that you do is already a result of you thinking about the outcome. We're always thinking, we start at the end, we think about the outcome. We're like, okay, let's work backwards. You guys have heard about this before. You've probably been involved in groups who've done this exercise before. But from a life first, business second, and service standpoint, you've never done this before. And not in the way that we do it, and we work backwards. So we go to the outcome. We know what the outcome is going to be for you, for your business, and then we design everything backwards from there. And then we have tools, we have software, we have all kinds of extra stuff, that not just education, that go, okay, take what you know, put it into this system, use this strategy, and all of that was because of this outcome discussion we had over here. Right at the very beginning, we have this outcome discussion. And then this is what we want for our life, for our business, and the passion, the service that we want to do to make the world a better place. And then we work toward that. So everything is measured. Every accountability is number one. We make sure that everybody is on track to actually get something done. And we have a good track record for that, because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who have gone through Motivation to Profit and our bachelor's program, who've left us testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. And we are after that. We chase the testimonials because they're a result of us doing exactly what we promised. They're an indicator on the scale of whether or not we're any good at what we do. They're the number one indicator. Somebody saying, all right, I've gone through this. I've seen what you guys want me to do. I've done it. I've followed it. And you guys kept me on track the whole time. You gave me very specific action steps throughout the whole process. It was not hard to do. And I got it done, and here's my outcome: 4 figures a month, 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month. We have businesses that have graduated from DU that run that whole gamut, and they've left us feedback, and they constantly do. We can't even keep track anymore. We get takeaways from everything that we do, and the takeaways, there's 4 or 5 every single time that we do a call, every time we get together and do a session of any kind. Gina's always asking for takeaways, and over 8 years, you can imagine how many of those that we have. And it's people going, this is really cool. This can work for me. Finally is a big keyword that people use to describe how they feel when they get into DU and they look around for the first time at not just education for education's sake, but an actual plan, that people are all focused on having an actual plan. to get to that outcome that you so much desire, the thing that you first thought, this is what I'm going to do this internet business for. Remember that? Remember your first goal, the first time you thought, man, I'm starting this business and one day I will be able to do whatever I want, call my own shots, own the kind of house I want, where I want, the car, do the things in life to make the world a better place that I want to do. All of those things that you thought about when you first started your business, this is where it actually comes to fruition. This is where that has happened for so many thousands of people over the last 8 years. I got carried away again, Gina.
No, you didn't.
Oh, outcomes. You want me to keep going? I can keep going.
I do.
All right. So we have a huge list of outcomes. If you guys go check out joindu.com/MTP, Motivation to Profit, MTP, joindu.com/MTP, you can read along with us and see what some of the outcomes are that you can expect from being here. So Motivation to Profit is our entry level, and it's a really, really great place to start, even if you're very, very experienced. A lot of experienced people come in and you've made some sales. You've got a monthly income. You are very, very busy and would like to be a lot less busy. This has to be you or we can't help you. If you're totally satisfied with your life, with your business, how much money you're making, and the amount of free time that you have to live and not be bothered by your business, have to work too hard, and you're out there serving to the best of your ability, doing the passion projects that you would like to do, then you can hang up now. I guess we don't hang up anymore, but you can close this out right now because we have nothing to offer you. And congratulations, by the way, because you're in the top 1/10% of the whole population. So congratulations for that. But for all the rest of you, if you're not there yet, if any of these pain points still exist in your life, if you're not making it and you want to go faster, you want to be able to have a life and you like the idea of life first, business second, then the outcomes list here will help you a lot. So, of course, you'll be able to do everything that was required for a good, successful, powerful, profitable business, like having enough subscribers and a lot of sales coming in every single day, enough sales that come in, and they come in automatically. Remember that little vortex of leverage that we talked about? We teach the Vortex Model of doing business, and your business can actually improve if you put this together for your business when you're on vacation. Not that sales will still be coming in while you're on vacation, but your business can actually be better when you get back from Greece than when you left for Greece. That's something that nobody else even talks about. Like, could the business actually run on its own for a little bit of time before I have to come back and push any buttons at all? Yes. If you set this up right and you have a Vortex model working for your business, you can go to Greece for a month and come back and your business actually got more sales than it did when you left the month previous. That's possible with this, and that's the only way that can possibly happen is with leverage and a very creative use of leverage. So working less, getting more done, all of that kind of stuff is everything that we cover. We have a huge outcome list. She's not even done scrolling down, and we have more. We were like, well, how long should we go before we take this off the page or leave it here, and don't go any further? It just goes and goes and goes. One of the other problems that you might be having right now is focus. Here's a scenario that you all have experienced even this morning when you fired everything up today for the first time, and that is we're drowning in opportunities. We're drowning in them. Back in the day when it was just the Warrior Forum, most of you won't even know what I'm talking about, 1998, 2000, we had like 3 things we could do on the internet to get the word out and get people to our site. And a lot of us were still accepting checks. Like you had to mail in to get, I'm saying that and I'm dating myself big time, but we didn't have a lot of opportunity, nothing like what you have right now. And I hear the people today saying the same things that they did back in the day. When we only had a few opportunities, everybody was complaining because they didn't know what to do. They were, they were confused. And it's the same thing today. Now we have all the opportunity in the world, and we should all be just drowning in traffic, drowning in sales, with all the social media, all of the tactics that you've learned, all the ebooks that you have on your hard drive right now, all the courses, all the webinars. Now we have so much opportunity, we're like a deer in the headlights. We don't know what to do next. It's completely overwhelming. And we don't know to trust the few things that we ought to be doing. Like pick one of the 500 things that you could be doing to drive traffic, to get more sales, get more leads, build your list. Just pick 3. And there are people out there doing it right now. There's people who just make their entire living off of a Facebook group and an iPad. They don't even have a regular computer. They got an iPad, a Facebook group. You know who you are. and they just go deep into one of those things, and they have the confidence to do that. If you're newer, you don't know which one you're supposed to do, so you go wide and you go really, really narrow. You just, I mean, really thin, instead of deep into any one of the sources of traffic or the places that you could be, like a Google community and Facebook and my website and my list. That's all I'm going to do. Most people don't think that way. Most of you have accounts everywhere, and you have stuff going on everywhere, but just very thin stuff going on. And you're finding that you're not driving any real engagement that way, because you can't spend any real quality time in any one place when you've got a million places to be and a million things to do. So we give you the focus to show you exactly, okay, here are all your options. What we would say is, why don't you focus over here for a minute, do this on Facebook, or do this on Google Plus, do this on your blog, you know, maybe run a couple of little paid ads over here for this and leverage that up to this, build your little funnel here. Just focus on these things and just put blinders on. To have somebody who's an expert tell you what you could just not pay attention to anymore, just put the blinders on, really is a nice feeling. It's like, okay, I trust you. And then, you know, in order to trust somebody, you got to find somebody who's been around for quite a long time. I mean, how can you trust anybody else? They just pop up and they go, I got this system to get a bunch of money out of ClickBank. Who the heck are you? Who are they? And how could you ever trust putting blinders on and just focusing on that one thing when you've never even met that person before? You don't know anything about them. We've had thousands and thousands of people who met us and who have graduated from our programs, so you can go and talk to any one of them. You can just put Directions University graduates in Google, and I bet you'll find some stuff. I've never done that before, but I'm sure you know, you'll find the people, and you'll find the people here. That's very, very important. Whether you come to Directions University or not, you should be looking for that level of stuff, because there are people like us that we came up with all the way from 1998 for me, all the way till today, that are still going. Those are the trustworthy people. Those are the only people you can really trust, because they can't screw people over and still be in business today, right? So they have to be doing something right. And we're 2 of those people. And Gina has come up with a miraculous system that people won't stop talking about. If you heard what our students were saying about the Vortex model, you would be flipping out. And you will hear it on the page here. Some of the people who have been affected by what Gina teaches. So, Gina, I'm going to let you have it back, or I'll just take up the rest of the day.
Well, one other outcome that I want to touch on for just a minute. Most people know me better as the JV Queen, and it's a title I earned from the many years of doing successful joint ventures and product launches. But I didn't do joint ventures the way that most people do joint ventures. Most people call somebody and say, hey, will you mail for me? I'll mail for you. And that's the extent of the joint venture. Jack, does that work very well in today's JV world?
No, it's all over, and you won't notice people doing it much anymore. You might see somebody mailing for somebody else and saying how great they are and everything, but if they're smart, they're doing it as part of an overall program. And most people aren't doing it that way. It's just a black and white, one-dimensional, mail me, mail you. It doesn't work anymore, and mail doesn't work as good as it did either. So if you have a joint venture and your main goal is to ask somebody to mail for you, you're really shooting for the least that you could possibly get out of a joint venture. There's so much more. It becomes 3-dimensional. It flowers. It grows. It's beautiful. The way Gina, who is the JV Queen, by the way, that's how everybody knows her, talks about that. And it's really almost now today, it's too bad that we still have to use the letters JV, because that connotes that one-dimensional thing, and people are like, oh, she does JVs, so what? I know all about that. No, you don't know nothing about it. If you haven't talked to Gina yet, you don't know anything about JVs, and not the way that we do them at Directions U.
I want to show them this little video real quick, Jack. Let me see if I can get it to do it in a muted state. This is how I think of joint ventures. It is far from that I mail for you, you mail for me kind of joint venture. It's really what I like to think of as a multi-vortex. Think about what a vortex is. A tornado, that thing that's spinning around that has sucking power. Imagine what happens when you have a multi-vortex, meaning that you have multiple tornadoes spinning around that are all tied together. That's the way you want to be thinking about joint ventures, and that's how we teach joint ventures in DU. Each tornado is a separate business. So you've got business number one doing its thing, attracting new customers. Business number two doing the same thing. Yours becomes business number three or business number four. And you're going to hook up all of these businesses together. Jack, what happens when you get many different tornadoes all together?
Well, in Indiana, you terrorize trailer parks, but online, you can do good with it. It's not so destructive as the images might show here. And when you do that, I mean, you're using leverage, and you're using compound leverage. It's not the kind of leverage that, you know, I'm going to go make a friend at a conference. I'm going to go to a conference, I'm going to shake somebody's hand, and we're going to be friends, and then they're going to mail for me because they got a 150,000 person list. Big deal. They'll tell you, if they're being honest, that they're not getting very much, you know, out of that 150,000 person list if you know what we used to get out of 150,000 person lists, right? So when you get somebody now to do a vortex with you, to join their vortex with yours, or to even, most of the time we have to go out and teach people about it before they can even become effective JV partners to us. We have to teach them our vortex model so that they even understand what we're trying to do. So we don't, you know, Gina was just talking to somebody, and they asked for a mail, and she said, I'll be happy to mail a mail for you anytime. They were really good friends from long ago. But she said, you know, what we really ought to do is what Gina actually does in joint ventures. And I can mail for you, and basically what she was saying was, I'll get for you whatever I can get from one mail. Or we could do this. And then she mapped out this whole plan. Really simple, very concise, but it was powerful. And the person on the other end of the phone, who shall remain nameless, but we love him to death, said, heck yes, I'm in. And Gina hung up on that one with a way, 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 way bigger deal for both parties, for herself, because one of the things that we teach, that Gina teaches, is there's got to be a gigantic win in it. Number one, first and foremost, for the other person's customers, right? It got to make them look good, you know, and then it goes to that JV partner. What good can it do for them? And the very last win in the win-win-win situation is us, is you, for your business. So if you really, really take care of them, and Gina shows you how to do that. We do that at Directions U. In Motivation to Profit, we show you exactly how to take advantage of that stuff and show people, open people's minds. So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, we got a JV and you mail for me, you can actually blow that up beyond anything they ever expected from contacting you for just a simple mailing for a launch that they're doing or something like that. You say a few magic words in their ear, and they're like, holy cow. And you've now got somebody who is going to be one of those tornadoes swirling around your own tornado that is effective for you. So you didn't just blow a bunch of steam on a phone call and say, yeah, this is going to be great, we're going to make millions and all this junk, and then it just turns into, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you haven't done this yet, you've heard about it. So everybody's had experience with it. So there's a really, really different things, and Gina is incredible. Some of the takeaways that we get is, wow, I never thought of that, or holy crap, this is totally different. People walking out of sessions with us with whole new ideas of how business is even done, online or offline. We work with offline businesses too, and it blows their minds. And it's just really high-level leverage stuff. It's not complicated. It's not hard to understand. It's just something you've never, ever heard or never, ever thought of before. And I love that, because that's where we get all of our energy. Tornadoes need energy, right? And they need to get an energy source from something, high and low pressure systems in the weather, or helping people, which is what Gina and I get our energy from. We get very, very animated like I am right now, because I know I'm helping people. I know I'm helping you guys open your minds to new possibilities for your business, for your life, and everything else, and that drives me nuts, and I want to do it for more and more and more people. And that's why Motivation to Profit even exists.
And through Motivation to Profit, you don't just get Jack and Gina helping you learn and apply this stuff to your business. We have more than 30 world-class faculty members at Directions University. There are people like New York Times best-selling author Simon Mainwaring of a book called We First on social branding. How do you use the power of social media to tell the story of the good your business is doing in the world? That's Simon. He writes for Huffington Post and Mashable and Forbes, and I can't even name them all. Huge, huge guy in the world of social branding. We also have Davin Michaels, the founder of 123 Employee. He's a faculty member, and you're going to learn about outsourcing from Davin. I can't even name all of our faculty members. We'd be here for the next hour with us just doing that. But when you go to joindu.com/MTP, you'll learn more about who our faculty members are and what kinds of things they teach. All of them really help you in 4 areas. We all help to give you direction for your life, help you get direction for your business. We show you how to give direction to your prospects and customers. And in the end, our goal really truly is to help you impact the direction of the world. If you're not really out there doing things that make a difference, both for your customers and prospects and for the world, you don't have maximum leverage in your business. Just that one teeny tiny thing can help make it so much easier to get your business to where you want it to be. So consider today's presentation. Jack, you've got an echo all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
So consider today's presentation your invitation to become a part of Directions University's mission. As we said earlier, that's simple: to touch the life of every person on this planet, to do so in a meaningful way. We really are looking forward to having you join us at Motivation to Profit and help encourage you to do that right now instead of waiting until later. We're doing something very special, but only for the next 48 hours. Jack, what are we doing with Motivation to Profit for the next 48 hours?
I don't agree with it that much, but you insist. We're giving it away basically for a lifetime, one-time purchase. So I don't know exactly if this is a good idea, but Gina did only make it for 48 hours, so that makes it better for me. So in 48 hours, we could take in 100 people that new students that are just paying a one-time $997 for their whole tuition for Directions University. We are not an accredited university, but we've set ourselves up exactly like at least an online university, but a quality one, like a good one. And the way that you take courses in this thing, it's all laid out. Just everything, all the action steps, all the 40, 52 some odd lessons that are in it are all laid out so that you have a sense of accomplishment. You can track your progress and you're going from one thing to the next in the exact order that you need in a 101 or 201 level that you would in a regular university. So given that, I know what they teach at Harvard, I know what they teach at Stanford, and I know what they teach at any other school that has an online marketing program. And I know that they can't hold a candle to what we have. And you'll just have to see for yourself, but I wanted to bring that up to say that it costs like $30,000 a year to go to one of those schools to learn super mega generic junk that you really can't call at the end of it. You can't graduate and start your own business. You can graduate and work for somebody else. That's all you can do with any of those schools and colleges. So $30,000 a year, it really kind of makes this. That's why I get nervous when Gina does this with the price, because then I really have to work this hard to make sure that you understand that there's value behind this that is not represented in the price that we're showing you right now, because it really should be, I think this should be a $10,000 minimum program. So it isn't right now for the next 48 hours, and the reason we're having this whole hangout, we're doing a special for $997, which you don't even have to pay a penny of today. If you use PayPal's credit program, Bill Me Later, you get no interest and 0 payments for 6 months. So you don't even have to pay anything today. It's getting even more ridiculous. $997 and it's lifetime. It's not per year. And everybody else before today and after 48 hours has to pay $997 a year, which is still well worth it. They get to stay in with all of our programs, stay in with their graduating class, and we have a lot of things that extend this beyond a year. But the entire set of lessons are an entire year, and it's only $997. That's what we're doing. I don't necessarily
Jack,
agree with it.
one of the things that makes it extend beyond just 1 year is something we call Do Project and another component called Divisio. Do Project, duproject.com, is a complete project management system. You'll have access to this project management system for life when you come in right now in the next 48 hours. It has importable action steps, task sets for everything we teach at Directions University in Motivation to Profit. So you're not just going to learn how to do something, you're going to get tools that are going to make it easy for either you or even your team members to apply and implement for you. To get you started with having more leverage, we're even going to gift you with your first 10 hours of VA services so that you can get somebody else to go and do all the stuff that you need to do. As you're learning how to do it, the tool will help ensure that you've got a way to manage other people doing it for you. And Jack, why don't you talk about Divisio for a minute? Because that's one that you and I are both super excited about. It's also part of Motivation to Profits.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is so cool. So if you guys know places like JV Zoo and ClickBank are doing, carts, it's like a place where you can put there's lots of places that you can put all your products. So if you have an ebook for sale or a course or a webinar series and you're selling that or any information product at all, you're going to need a way to sell it and a way to have an affiliate program. Otherwise, you're leaving so much money on the table. And so Divisio is a cart, but it's a really radically different kind of cart system. Yes, you can have an affiliate program, but you can pay up to 4 different people instantly out of every sale that's made. So let's say that you've got a product on right now, and you've got a JV broker, somebody who's helping you get attention, somebody's helping you bring in affiliates, and you want to give them a little bit. Usually the going rate is like 10% override commission, and then you have your affiliates who usually get anywhere, I mean, it just depends, whatever their commission is, up to 50% some people pay for their products. And then you have a partner. And so in one transaction, somebody comes and buys your series or whatever it is, comes into your membership site, the JV broker who brought you the affiliate, who just brought you the customer, and you have a partner in your business, you can pay all of those people out instantly on every single sale. So think about what that's like. So everybody else has got an affiliate program, and they want you to sell their book on Amazon or something, and Amazon pays you like 10 years later 32 cents out of whatever, and everybody else pays net 30, net 60. They go out, until the launch is over, and you get to go to the same people and say, you know what, those guys, I have a better product and I can pay you instantly right now. Who you think is going to join your affiliate program? It's like a no-brainer. It's dead easy. And then being able to track all of that stuff, being able to have a system, it's just like the different services that are out there times 10. And it's awesome that it's ours. We're like really super proud of this. It's an incredible opportunity to be able to offer this, and I'm super proud of all the work that's been done on it. So that's a very, very big deal. That comes with Motivation to Profit.
Both Do Project and Divisio will be ready in just a couple of weeks. We're waiting for some final approvals right now. And when they are, they're yours for life when you join us in the next 48 hours. We encourage you to go to joindu.com/MTP and get started right this minute. When you do, make sure that you reserve the time for your hug seat, a 2-hour call with Jack and Gina, where we're going to help really walk you through building the plan for how you go from where you're at to where you want to be, with your vision for life, your vision for serving, and a business that supports the first two. Jack, any final things to say?
No. Just that you, if you're watching this, you need to take advantage of it. If you are who we think you are, we had a design, we had a plan for who was going to be watching this video, either live right now or recorded over the weekend. And if we've done our job, you are someone who would like more time for life. You're someone who would like to use leverage and have a business that supports your life rather than what it is right now, which is every day you wake up, you're thinking about your business. Every day you go to bed, you're thinking about your business, and it's not a good thinking. It's a bad thinking. It's like, I wonder if I'm going to make it. I wonder if I'm ever, and I wonder if I'm going to be able to get it to the point where I can start having a life. And what we're here to tell you is that you need to start having your life right now. You need to start living your life right now and have a business that supports it now, and not do it linearly like I was doing. I was making a plan to have a business that would make this much money, and then I would be able to retire early, and then I would be able to do my life, and I'd be able to. That's not the way to do it. I can tell you from personal experience, it's not the way to do it. And we know the market really well. There's not a lot of people out there at all talking about this stuff, and the ones who are talking about it don't have our program. So that's all I got to say. And it's a stupid, ridiculously low-priced deal this week. In no way do I want you to attach value from what we're charging for it over the next 48 hours to what it actually is, because you would be so far off. You would be absolutely stunned at what you're going to find when you get in there. And what you're going to find is us. We work with you guys. We do hug seats. And we have a very, very comprehensive program to actually get the results you've always been looking for.
We look forward to seeing you on our next Gold Call on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Get started right now at joindu.com/MTP, and we'll see you as part of the DU family.
Bye, everybody.